Today I'm going to talk about revenue management and how it applies to hotels within the lodging industry. Revenue management can in basic be summed up as putting the right heads within the right beds. Now this isn't just necessarily closed-minded to, oh, I have a vacation traveler so I should put them in this bed, or I have a business travel, it's putting them in this bed. This is more concerned on how to sell each room to a particular customer based on the time frame in which they're coming. This kind of categorizes into the optimization of selling a room to a customer. When selling a room, it's not so much of how much should the room go for every night. It's at what variable does the room go for price X, price Y, and price Z. If it's 90 days out, a room's going to sell for a higher price than it's going to sell for if a customer comes in at 9 o'clock at night trying to make a room reservation. That's why it differs from maximizing price. Instead of that one consistent price value that you would expect, the hotel is going to change its prices based upon time and demand. Assuming there's a higher demand, of course, the hotels are going to raise their rates. For example, a football weekend here in Columbia. When every hotel room is pretty much going to be sold out, the hotels can make such claims as a 2-night requirement, and they can raise their rates to levels that wouldn't be seen any other time of the year. However, on the other hand, when there's nothing else going on in Columbia, hotels are going to lower their rates in order to try and coerce people to either come to Columbia and stay at the hotel, or just to help try and keep the occupancy rate higher. In this way, they're not simply just maximizing revenue, they're trying to at least optimize it. By that, I'm trying to differ that they're not simply trying to sell the room at the highest price they possibly can, they're simply trying to sell the room, period. Also, hotels work with revenue management in order so that they can be proactive instead of reactive. With the new DoubleTree coming into the Columbia area, all the hotels are going to have to make different alterations to their revenue management schedules. They're going to have to budget differently, price differently, for there's going to be many more hotel rooms for people to stay in the Columbia region. It's true the DoubleTree is going to be at the higher end of the hotel room stay, however, it still means another bed to put another head. And so, instead of being reactive and waiting until the DoubleTree comes in and seeing what their prices are, they're going to assume they're going to get a gauge level of where the price is going to be located and then try and figure out what their new price level is going to be and how they can stay competitive with the new DoubleTree. And so, revenue management in that way just brings itself to be so important because without it, a hotel is going to just simply flounder and fail. Because otherwise it's just going to be a one set price and customers are going to wonder, oh, why can't I get this room cheaper? Or a hotel manager is going to wonder why their occupancy rate is so incredibly low on a night when there are people coming in and simply leaving. It's going to be because customers don't want to pay as much as they want at that immediate moment. They will be willing to pay more, however, if they make the reservation long term. While it may seem that revenue management is dying out slowly within hotels, it's still incredibly important today. And because of this, it helps the hotel optimize their revenue, and also it helps the hotel to be proactive instead of reactive. And pretty much as I began this video, it's all about putting the right heads in the right beds. And to add one more little bit, it's about putting the right heads in the right beds, but for the right price.